Good morning, I'm Terry, and welcome to TARDIS Spider. Today, evil in a jar. On more than one occasion, the Doctor and his companions have battled a great evil that was trapped in a jar. Who were these great evils, and in what stories can we find them? So let's watch Evil in a Jar. And if you enjoy this video, please subscribe, please like, please leave a comment. And now for today's video, Evil in a Jar. Yes, before light and time, and space and matter, before the universe was created, life as we understand it could not have existed. Yet a tiny planet on the edge of the universe held evidence of a conflict that was lost and won before the dawn of time. In this war, the disciples of light rose up against the beast, a creature of all evil. After a mighty battle, they imprisoned it in a pit beneath the heart of a planet, in an impossible orbit around a neighboring black hole. This world was named trappped, or the Bitter Pill. The black hole itself was a mighty demon that had been tricked into devouring trappped, only to spit it out again because it was poison. Humankind, through the Torchwood archive, had mounted an expedition to the planet kept in a perpetual geostationary orbit around the black hole. It was held there by a power source with an inverted, self-extrapolating reflex of 6 to the power of 6 every 6 seconds, enough power to fuel the human empire. trappped generated a gravity field which held the planet in constant balance with the black hole and projected a gravity funnel out into clear space. The power source was apparently located 10 miles below the surface of the planet. On the second expedition, the Torchwood archive constructed Sanctuary Base 6 on the surface of trappped and drilled down to point 0, discovering a seemingly endless chasm which held a metal-sealed door with unintelligible symbols. This pit held the beast. It was here that the disciples of light had changed the creature. They had filled the pit with air, allowing anyone venturing down there to survive, and they covered the walls with rock art depicting their battle against the beast. It was a warning, and also a trap. The disciples of light knew that the beast was as devious as it was powerful, and that one day it might make contact with a frailer mind and escape the pit. The disciples devised the perfect prison, or so they thought. In front of the beast, and just beyond its reach, were 2 urns. They were the source of the gravity field, holding trappped in orbit. Smashing the urns would liberate the beast, but it would also cause the gravity field to collapse instantly. So if the beast escaped its chains, trappped would fall back into the black hole, taking the beast with it. This horned beast seems to be at the root of the horned devil image in the legends of millions of worlds throughout the universe, from Satan on Earth to the Khaled god of war. When confronted by the Doctor, the beast claimed to not be a single devil from any one religion, but the darkness behind the demon figure in all of those religions. The beast was able to reach out from the pit and influence lesser beings with its mind. The creature took control of Sanctuary Base 6's complement of Ood servants, turning them into a legion of the beast. He also possessed SB6's archaeologists, Tobias said, so its mind might escape with the humans fleeing in the rocket, even as its body burned up as trappped fell into the black hole, only to be sent into the black hole by Rose Tyler. So the Doctor and his companion, Rose Tyler, defeated the great evil locked in a jar. A very long time ago, 2 powerful beings sat down in the desert to play chess. They carved pieces from bleached bones in the sand. The price for losing was perpetual imprisonment in a flask, banished to the shadow dimensions. This 3-handled flask was covered with mysterious runes. Over the next 600 years, it traveled the old Silk Road, eventually reaching Constantinople. There it was bought by a merchant and taken across Europe, where it was stolen in the 9th century by Vikings, who then took it to northeastern England. The Vikings believed the flask had cursed them, and they buried it beneath the Church of St. Jude's at Maiden Bay in Northumbria. They named the evil power contained inside Fenric. The Viking raiders would leave traces of themselves all over the British Isles, including depictions of Fenric carved into the stones on the Isle of Man, and a rune warning of Fenric's evil in St. Jude's. The flask lay undisturbed for over 600 years until 1943, where it was discovered by British soldiers. The last pieces of Fenric's plan were moved into place, and when the markings on the flask were deciphered, Fenric was no longer trapped inside. He was free. One of the major differences between the modern game of chess and the one played by Fenric and the Doctor is instead of having a powerful queen, this early version had a piece called the Grand Vizier, the smooth-moving, manipulative, lethal power behind the throne. The Doctor's game of chess with Fenric would take place 3 centuries before the game was played in India. Perhaps it was the Doctor himself who brought chess to Earth. The 7th Doctor was a master chess player. His perpetual contest against Fenric continued through the centuries, with moves being made in the same game from Lady Penneforth's study in 1638 to Maiden's Bay in 1943. According to the sorceress Morgane, he was a less successful player as Merlin in a parallel dimension. Even though the Doctor had trapped the ancient beast in the 3-handled flask, Fenric remained able to manipulate the timelines to bring about his release. From at least the time of the Vikings, the curse of Fenric affected entire families throughout the world, ensuring that their descendants would all be present at Maiden's release. Among these was Kathleen Dudman, whose baby Audrey would grow up to be the mother of the Doctor's companion Ace. Ace herself met the Doctor on Ice World after Fenric used a time storm to transport her there from modern London. Fenric would also cause another time storm. This one carried the last living creature on Earth from the planet's distant future back to 9th century Constantinople. This was the Ancient One, a herbivore that had evolved after 500,000 years of industrial process, also known as pollution, had changed the Earth's surface into a chemical slime. The Ancient One followed the flask across Europe to Maiden's Bay. As it waited centuries for Fenric's release, it converted humans to herbivores, assembling an army of the Wolves of Fenric, which would be used to destroy humanity and supposedly save its future. Yet the 7th Doctor was the ultimate master chess player. He had foreseen every move that Fenric would make, and had plans to be one step ahead through the entire process. So in the end, with another game of chess, the 7th Doctor imprisoned Fenric one more time, this time for eternity. And for the second time, the Doctor and his companion had defeated an evil in a jar. I hope you enjoyed these 2 stories, The Curse of Fenric from the 80s, and The Impossible Planet and The Satan Pit from the new series of Doctor Who with David Tennant. So enjoy either or both of these stories. Enjoy your journey through time and space, and please never, ever forget, a child cannot have a favorite book if they do not have one. Give a child a book today. Good night.